All right, if you're in the project management world, you're constantly hearing these acronyms thrown around, right? PMP, Prince2, Agile. But what do they actually mean for your career? And more importantly, which one is the right move for you? Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to create a clear map for your professional journey.
PMP? Prince2? Safe? I mean, seriously, if you feel like you're drowning in an alphabet soup of certifications, you are definitely not alone. It can be super confusing. But hey, stick with me. By the end of this, I promise you'll know exactly which path makes the most sense for your career.
All right, so to find our way out of this maze, we first have to get our bearings. And that means understanding the two, let's call them fundamental philosophies, that guide pretty much all the major certifications out there. It really all boils down to how they approach the work itself.
Okay, first up, we have what's called a descriptive framework. Now, the best way to think about this is like a giant library of project management wisdom. It's packed with best practices, it tells you what you should know, all the principles, the lingo. But here's the key part. It trusts you, the project manager, to take that knowledge and apply it flexibly to your specific situation. And this is the whole idea behind the big one, the Project Management Professional, or PMP. Then on the complete other side of the coin, you've got the prescriptive framework. If the first one was a library, this one is more like a very detailed recipe, step-by-step instructions. It gives you a super structured process to follow with all the roles and procedures already defined for you. So it's less about what you know and way more about what you do. And this is the world of Prince2.
Okay, so now that we've got that foundation down, let's dive into the big one, the global standard for that descriptive approach, the Project Management Professional, or PMP.
Yeah, the PMP it's pretty much universally considered the gold standard. It's all based on the project management body of knowledge. You'll hear it called the PMBOK Guide, and its real superpower is its flexibility. And that's exactly why it's so valued across so many different industries, from IT to construction. It also explains why it totally dominates in places like North America, Asia, and the Middle East.
So you might be asking, what does it take to get one of these? Well, this number, it's the big one. 36 months. Yep, that's 3 full years of hands-on experience, actually leading projects. And get this, that's just the requirement before you can even apply to sit for the exam. So yeah, this is not a certification for beginners. It's really a validation for pros who've already been in the trenches.
Okay, so is all that effort worth it? I mean, 3 years is a long time. Well, the data says a resounding yes. PMP certified project managers often pull in a salary that's anywhere from 16 to 20% higher than their peers who don't have the cert. And why is that? It's because that PMP after your name, it's a signal to employers. It says you have a proven track record of leadership, you can think strategically, and you have the grit to see really complex projects all the way to the finish line.
All right, now let's hop across the Atlantic and look at a completely different way of thinking. We're going to explore that structured, process-driven alternative that really rules the roost in other parts of the world, Prince2. Look, if you remember only one thing about the difference between PMP and Prince2, make it this. PMP is all about the knowledge. It gives you the what and the why. But Prince2, it's all about the process. It gives you the specific how to run a project, step by step, inside a very controlled environment.
This table really breaks down the practical differences. You can see the geography, right? They each have their own strongholds. And we just talked about the philosophy, knowledge versus process. But check out the prerequisites and renewal. This is huge. PMP demands years of experience, and you have to keep learning. Those 60 PDUs are professional development units, by the way. But Prince2 Foundation, you can jump in with 0 experience, which makes it a fantastic entry point into the field for a lot of people.
Okay, so we've covered the 2 traditional heavyweights, but I know what you're thinking. What about the fast-paced, ever-changing world of Agile? And what if I don't have 3 years of experience? Where do I even start? Great questions. Let's tackle both of them right now.
So for anyone just starting their journey, the perfect on-ramp is the CAPM. That's the Certified Associate in Project Management. It's actually from the same folks who do the PMP, the PMI, but here's the kicker. No experience required. It's designed to validate your foundational knowledge and basically put you squarely on the highway to getting your PMP once you've clocked that experience. Okay, now let's talk Agile. The 2 big players here are really serving 2 totally different needs. On one hand, you have the PMI ACP. Think of this as getting a broad, well-rounded education in Agile. You'll learn about a ton of different frameworks, Scrum, Kanban, Lean, the whole shebang. But then you have SAFe, the Scaled Agile Framework. And this one is laser-focused on just one thing, teaching you how to take Agile and make it work at a massive scale, like across dozens or even hundreds of teams in a giant company.
And this table just makes that distinction crystal clear, doesn't it? PMI ACP is for the Agile practitioner on the ground who needs that flexibility. SAFe? That's for the person who's involved in huge, enterprise-wide transformations. And just look at the differences in renewal and training. SAFe actually requires mandatory training, and you have to renew it every single year. That really tells you how specialized and implementation-focused it is.
All right, so we've laid out the map. We've explored the territories of PMP, Prince2, CAPM, and the whole world of Agile. Now comes the most important part. How do you take all this information and actually chart your own personal path forward?
I've got a simple 5-step framework for you that will guide your decision. The whole point here is to move from just having general information to creating a specific, actionable plan that is tailored just for you. So let's walk through it together.
First things first, you gotta be honest with yourself about your experience. Where are you right now? If you're just starting out, say 0 to 2 years in, your path is probably pointing straight at the CAPM or Prince2 foundation. But once you cross that magical 3-year threshold of actually leading projects, bam, the doors to the PMP swing wide open. And, of course, if your day-to-day world is all about Agile, well, that's a pretty clear signal to start looking hard at either the ACP or SAFe.
Next up, you have to ask, where do you work? And I can't stress this enough. This is so important. A PMP certification, it carries immense weight in the US. But if you're working in the UK public sector, for instance, Prince2 is often the non-negotiable standard. So your industry and, maybe even more importantly, your geography are going to have a huge impact on the kind of return you get on your investment.
And hey, as you're weighing all this up, please keep this in mind. It's a really important perspective. A certification isn't magic. It's not going to magically make you a great project manager. What it does is act as a formal recognition of the skill and experience you've already worked so hard to build. Think of it this way. It organizes and validates your competence. It doesn't just create it out of thin air.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Don't just think about your next certification. Think bigger. Plan your career strategy. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 3 to 5 years? Because now you have the map, and you can start to figure out which of these credentials will be the most powerful engine to help get you there.